Morning Warriors. It is Friday, January 17th. You know how sometimes you lose a day and it's like, oh, it's the 16th. No, it's actually the 17th. Well, apparently I gained a day with everything that's been going on. I seriously thought it was already Saturday and it's actually Friday, the 17th. So my birthday is officially tomorrow and I wanted to get my first official upload and talk to you guys about everything that's going on and what we've been doing before my birthday, because on my birthday things get real. I mean, it's already real, so, but this is going to be my year. This is going to be our year. So here I am. It's the 17th. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted, as always. I haven't let the puppies out to go potty yet. I normally don't let everybody out until the sun rises. That way I can see everyone because I don't want to lose anyone. Noelle and Hope and Newton, Bear Bear, all of them. All of them. Let's just say all of them. JJ goes outside sometimes, but I try to keep him in. He's old and his leg was broke and it healed funny because he pulled it out of his cast when it got broken, and so it's kind of kicked off, and even though it doesn't cripple him at all, he runs and plays just like any other dog. I'm very protective over him. So, well, let's just jump right into this. I went out yesterday and we started looking at some properties local to me, that just kind of seeing what's out there. We went to Tractor Supply and was budgeting and kind of creating a game plan for fencing and kennel and everything else. Realistically, how many times I gotta say I'm gonna get better, I promise. Realistically, I would love to find a property that already has a barn on it so that we can just completely redo the interior of that and make that a kennel rather than having to build from a foundation up. I think we might be able to find something. On February 4th, there is a property tax sale in Lindale. And if we've raised enough funds by then, I'm actually going to go to that and I'm going to really start looking. I would really, really love to buy a property where all I have to do is pay the back taxes on it and then it's mine. So that would be so helpful. I went out yesterday and I bought a calendar. I hadn't bought my calendar yet for 2020. This gave me initiative. I am keeping everything in here. Here's what we're going to start with, but there. I've got all my receipts this time next year when I file my taxes. I will be able to write all that off. We will be a legitimate nonprofit, and so I can get all that right off and all that. Here's all Hope's vet stuff, some of Hope's vet stuff. Other stuff is actually in my files just because I keep all of that. But that is not what I'm looking for. It is right here. I have been doing so much research and people have reached out to me and have been giving me advice and just kind of guiding me. We have got a board of directors established. I would absolutely love to bring in a vet student or something along those lines to my board, just so I have that one more arsenal in my back pocket. I'm really considering taking some online classes about animal behavioral therapy and stuff like that. I really want to understand them and know what I'm getting myself into beyond just my general knowledge. And I have grown up around dogs and animals my whole life. And I'm a little bit more educated than the common person. You see Fang. There's Fangy Wangy. Hi, Fang. You gonna video bomb me this whole time? Whatever. Um, there it is again. Catch me. Every time I say be like, no, you're not allowed to say that anymore. You have to be consistent. So my aunt was a breeder for a very, very long time, and I actually am an advocate for good breeders, not Peppy Mills. Do not get that twisted. A breeder breeds for the betterment of their breed, to make a better dog as they continue. And they do it right. And that's Dobby. Hey, yo, dude, you're rude. This is Dobbs. Say hi, Dobby. You're a brat. Get down. Oh, there you go, baby. They've already had their tuna this morning, but they're vultures. Here we go. A good breeder breeds for the betterment of the breed. A lot of them aren't making money off of it. It is literally a passion, and I've seen it firsthand. My aunt started a Facebook group called Canine Midwolves, and it is specifically geared for breeders and bitches. That is the correct term for a female dog, is the bitch. It's not a derogatory word, people. Don't freak out. You'll probably hear me use that term a lot because I grew up around it. It's not one that I use in a derogatory manner. I use it to describe the dog. But they do a whole lot of good. And I was an admin on there for a little while, specifically for educational purposes. So I learned a whole lot through them, and they've got a great group. I did step down when things kind of fell off and we ended up moving to where we are now. But I am still a part of the group, and if you are a breeder or your bitch is pregnant and you just want a helping hand, they have so much good information to give you. I highly, highly recommend looking them up. Tell them Bree sent you. Aunt B will know exactly who you're talking about. But here we go. Let's jump right into this. Lots of research has been happening. Lots of stuff has been moving. I have had people reach out to me and give me advice and stuff like that. House of Hope or Hope's Haven. When we hit our amount on GoFundMe, I am going to create a TikTok post and let you all name it. For right now, I'm just going to kind of stick with House of Hope just because I've already kind of named everything. But when we go down and I buy property and I am now filing for my federal employer ID number and for my tax exempt stuff, I'm going to have to put down the name that it's going to be forever. I'm not going to be able to change it. So when we hit that number, I'll create a vote and y'all can pick which one you like more. House of Hope started literally a couple days after we found Hope. Me and spouse, Brian is his name, were talking in the bedroom about her and what had happened and how it all happened. And I realized, and I told him that I wanted to do more with this. If this was my calling, the door was going to be opened, and it was, and all I had to do was walk through it. My grandmother called me and told me, and she and I were just talking. I'm very close with my grandmother. She is definitely one of my heroes. She's an amazing person. She owns the Geranium House Bed and Breakfast and Tea Room in Athens, Texas. If you get a chance, go check her out on Google. Check out her website. Blow her up with love. She was a missionary to Central America and taught in a deaf school for a few years. She is an amazing person. She was a special education teacher for many years. This isn't the first time she's opened up a bed and breakfast. She had one back in the 90s. So she is amazing and she deserves all your love and supports. But she was telling me that courage is doing something even when you're afraid. And I'm terrified, but I'm taking this step. I know this is where I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to do. And scared or not, I am stepping through the door into a new future. So here we go. My mission statements. And I followed in suit for the video where I have my 6-year-old behind me in the car in Tractor Supply parking lots. Is I want House of Hope to take the worst of the worst, the dogs that have been thrown away, the ones that aren't worth anything, and I want to give them a second chance for a good future and show people that even if they're broken, they're still beautiful. There was again. I'm gonna get better, guys, I promise. Goals. I read on multiple websites that you want to start big. Where do you want to be in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year? But for me, I work a little bit better thinking small and moving forward. In the initial statement, I wanted to do for 25 dogs, but upon actually budgeting out and looking at all of this, I think 10 dogs would be much better. So I want to open up the kennel and build that. And here is kind of like my budget type thing that we're starting to do. 10 kennels at $380 a piece, $379.99, and I will round up. Just pretty much if I say any number, take away 1 penny. And there's where it actually is. I'm not lying, I promise. But 10 5x10 kennels are $380 a piece, which is $3,800 for all of them. If we find a property that has a barn already built, we can literally just go in, wire everything up, place kennels, and make sure everything's established. If not, then we're probably going to have to build something and we're looking at a little bit more work. But I have complete faith that we are going to find exactly what we're looking for and have no problems. I want to, let's say the property we find is a square. I would like to have the whole property fenced off with a nice big gate. Gate is 210. And then what are you doing? He's a weird one. I would like to have the whole property fenced off and the gated. If we could find it, I'm going to do it every time. If we can find it, I would like to do a cattle guard just so we're sure. I don't want cattle, but I think that it would be beneficial to have one just in case. And then got the kennel and everything within that, and then a business type house thing. That way I can work out of there. I want to move everything to this property. Our homeschool will take place there. All our dogs, all the dogs would be there. This is going to be base. So that's where we're at. I think we are going to go with 5 foot fencing. Any dogs that are brought out when we get to that point will be under supervision at all times. I would never think to let a dog out of their kennel without being supervised, even if we have a fence. But as long as somebody's out there, I think 5 foot would be okay. If y'all think we need to do higher, I did look at them. I didn't price for them, but it's something I can definitely consider. 5 foot high, 200 foot long fence is $365 each. And Brian thinks that we're going to need 3 of those to go around the whole property. Realistically, I would like to go around the whole property and then around the kennel specifically and just around that area. That way I can let them out and they have an area. And then I can, if we want to expand on that, I can bring them out into the whole enclosement and allow them free run. 75 T-posts at $539 a piece is $405. Log cedar post, he thinks we're going to need about 15 of those, and those are $14.99 each. So let's say $225. We were looking, and I did talk to somebody when we're buying in bulk like that. At that point in time, we would already have our tax exempt, and I would be able to put it onto a business account, and we are liable to get 5 to 10% off doing all that. So that's kind of cool. I was looking at dog houses. I would like each kennel to have a dog house and then a rotating feeder. That way we were able to feed easier and move forward with that. Dog houses are $130 a piece. 10 of those is $1,300. So all of this together is about $7,000, and that leaves $3,000 for concrete and anything else that I'm forgetting up along the way. If we raise the whole 20, that would be $10,000 for land and establishment, and then $10,000 for the kennels. And I think I can do all of that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. One of my very good friends called me yesterday. We're just going to call him Jay. And he was like, "So what are you doing?" And I told him the story, and I will relay the whole story of Hope here in a minute. And I told him what was going on. And he said that when this takes off, he will volunteer his time to come out and help build with me and Brian. And I'm so grateful for that. And I will take him up on that when the time comes. I believe that we have enough people in our back door. I could bring in a ton of volunteers to help. And I am writing down and keeping every name of everybody that has donated thus far. And I want to do something with it. Nip. Every name. And I've got two more that I still need to add. Somebody from the UK donated today. Is that not the coolest? And we've had somebody from Denmark comment, and Finland and Germany. Like, suddenly my kids are wanting to explore the world of where these people are hearing Hope's story, and they're fascinated by it. So it gets brought into lessons for us, which is so cool. But I really think that I can bring in enough volunteers. And Brian is a jack of all trades. He has been a diesel mechanic, he has been a contractor, he has been a apprentice electrician. He does a lot right now. He's a technician in a pool business. And so, water and electricity. Why does he do this to me? But he has been with his current job for a couple of years now. That we're in slow season. He gets about 15 to 20 hours a week. So we're making do. We're doing okay. I have never really been one to ask for help. And that's why Hope's story is so near and dear to me, is because I was taught growing up that you buckle down, you make do, and you make it work, and you don't reach out. You don't let people know what happens behind closed doors needs to stay behind closed doors. But finding hope, I couldn't do it by myself, and I know that. We did not have the financial capability of taking care of a dog like this. And in the very beginning, and the reason I made a post was because I was angry. I was angry at finding a dog in this condition. I was angry that I was having to use money that I didn't have to take her to the vets when no animal should ever look like this. And so I reached out, not necessarily to find help, but to speak out against this. I don't know if we're ever going to find who her previous owner was. I don't even know how many owners she had before me. I would assume one, maybe two, but I don't know. If she is 8 months old, I really feel like it was one, that she was, an oops litter. Somebody sent out and adopted her and lied about what their intentions were for her. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. So, but I was really mad, and the outpour of love and affection for her and for me and for my family made me start thinking that I could totally do this. It's just an expansion of what I already do. Some women want to work and be the big business. Me, myself, personally, I feel that my place is in the home, and I am happy being there, and I love what I do. And this is just an extension of home and teaching my children and leaving the world a better place than when I found it. So I don't see any problems arising. When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. This isn't work to me. This is just being happy and doing what I love, and getting to take my kids along for the ride and teaching them to be decent adults one day, I hope. And they're all decent kids, so. But we found Hope. We rushed her to the vet. We used our electric bill money, and that's getting paid today, guys. Don't worry, I am foregoing doing anything for my birthday so that we can pay this bill, because that is the responsible thing to do. Being an adult sucks. I know. So it's okay. We went to the vet, and it was very hectic the first time that we went, and we didn't have a lot of money. We were just specifically looking for antibiotics. Were there any breaks? Could you feel anything? All that. Our vet looked her over. They wrote us amoxicillin and sent us on our way, pretty much. That's what we could afford. So after TikTok blew up. We ended up going back a couple days later. I was There's Thessie. If y'all have never seen her before, she's on one of my TikToks. I'll tell you her story later. We went back a couple days later because we needed to do a heartworm test. I know, oh, so much did hinge on that. That's not a death sentence, but it needs to be treated and treated quickly. And thank the Lord, she did not have heartworms. So that was an amazing thing. We were able to look at, she had already had a medicated bath at that point. I got medicated shampoo too. Sorry. And I was able to look at the gash, and it's actually not a gash, it is a bite wound. A tooth went through her neck, and it was so covered in mud and dirt and debris when we first found it that we didn't even realize how deep it was. The laceration on her foot wasn't nearly as bad as what we were thinking it was. And then, of course, the scraping and stuff on her neck, and she's got a lot of scars, of course, but scabs and stuff on her ears and over her back legs, and then the scars of things that had healed. I'm not sure if her fur will ever come back. We have to be really, really careful. We cannot have food down when she's out and about. I normally keep my bathroom completely closed off. I free feed for the little dogs, and then Bear, Noel, and Hope are on scheduled feedings, and they all get fed in their kennels twice a day. Um, but I cannot have any food down with her at all when she is out and about, because she started to guard the bag of dog food. We had to move the dog food into a closet so that she won't go up to it and guard it. Like, she is very aggressive towards that. And there's not a whole lot we can. Hey, you stop that. Bessie, quit. That's not for you. It's the birthday decorations from Minnie Mouse's party. I gotta get this cat. And yes, I left them up because my birthday is tomorrow. So, come here. You can't have that. Come here, baby. Oh, there's my good girl. There's my good girl. You want to come say hi to everybody? Oh, there. Woohoo. There's Bessie. Get out of the way. Nobody wants to see your butt. So, I found her in July. Yes, July. The weekend of Independence Day, actually. We came home from a church thing at my grandma's church. Fireworks, slip and slides, all that good fun stuff. And there was this little black ball that was chasing my chickens. So I ran over. Me and spouse were actually in an argument at the time. Yeah, we argue. I know. Every couple does. I'm not ashamed of that. And I caught her, and she attacked me. Like, my whole hand, she bit me. I was bleeding, and I put her in a kennel. That's all I knew to do, is I put her in a kennel with some food and left it alone for a couple of hours. She was vicious, but she was this little itty bitty thing. And my middle boy, we'll call him Batman at his request, he named her Thestra after Thestrals, because we're really big into that. It's just kind of our thing. It's fun. So we have had her ever since. She is not spayed yet. Dobby and Fang and their mother Socks are all neutered, and Socks is spayed, of course. But Thessie is so timid. There's Dobby. You get out of my video. Go away. She's very timid. She does not go outside, so there is nothing in here at this point that can get her pregnant. But we are looking at getting her spayed. She was really, really tiny for the longest time. She's still really, really tiny. Like, compared to Dobbs and Fang, she's half their size. Socks is 3 times her size. Socks is a big girl now. So we've really waited for her. It is on the to-do list. I don't want to say it's not a priority. Spay and neuter your pets, people. If you don't want to breed, then there is no reason for them to have all that going on. But there's nothing in here that can breed her, so I don't worry about it too much right now. She got all her shots and everything. Her stomach, we thought she had worms and we wormed her and never got anything. When she was really itty bitty, it was basically like a softball. Her belly was the size of a softball and her head was so tiny. It was so weird. She's disproportionate. It's really funny. Back to Hope. So we get back from the vet the second time. I'm trying to keep everybody updated on TikTok and Instagram and my Facebook. Oddly enough, I don't use Facebook a lot. You have a lot better chance of getting me on Instagram than you do on Facebook. Last summer, I did a 30-day Facebook cleanse and I never went back, ever. Like, I don't like Facebook very much anymore. I know I might sound really weird saying that, but my life is better now that I don't use it. I do get on probably every week or so and check the lost and found pages because we're still holding out hope that we are going to find Hercules and that we're going to be able to bring him home. Hercules was actually boys, and he's my oldest son. He's 12. We had Hercules for 2 years, and he was Boy's dog, and Boy would tell you that. So he took the loss the hardest, and like I said, I'm still holding faith that we're going to bring him home, and I check periodically to see if he's been found or if anyone has commented. A lot of people reach out to me and show me pictures, and I have looked at numerous dogs that look like Hercules, but they're not him, unfortunately. He has a little white patch right on his chest. He is overall gray, but a little white patch on that's the shape of an arrowhead on his chest. So I know, I know what I'm looking at when I look at these dogs. But Boy fell in love with Hope, and we like to think that Hercules sent us to her so that Boy could heal and that he could open his heart up again to another animal that deserved to be loved, because Boy is a very sensitive young man and he is so tender and so sweet. He's really, I don't deserve him. I tell people that all the time. I am so blessed to have a firstborn like him because he is the best kid you could ever ask for. And he is really taken to Hope, and I'll know she is in her kennel right now. Normally, though, for the last couple of days, I'll wake up and his door will be shut, and I'll open it up to wake him up, and who's in bed with him? Hope. So, but, we after the second vet trip, she's been doing really well. We have the food aggression. She's actually trying to play. Her tail wags a lot. A couple people have made comments. She does have that knot in her tail. The vet looked over everything really thoroughly. Doesn't feel that we need to do anything. A couple people have made a comment about possibly docking it, and it is definitely something I will bring up. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to have to, though. Bear was born without a tail, and Noelle's tail is docked. So I'm quite used to having non-tailed dogs. Newt has a tail, but he's a foot long, so that's not a big deal. And then JJ has his little poof ball, and you can't take that away. That's a whole palm right there is their poof. So, but I'm sorry guys if I just I googled how to blog. I have never done anything like this before, and this is one of those taking a step out in faith and knowing and believing that it's going to happen, it's going to be okay. And I'll get better as we go. Just bear with me. So, but thank y'all for listening to me. I am going to link my PayPal, my Venmo, my Instagram, my TikTok, my GoFundMe, everything in the description box down below. If you want to continue to see updated videos of Hope and Hope's journey and House of Hope coming to, be, Give us a like, give us a follow, uh, ask questions. I'm going to start writing questions down and kind of be answering stuff. I would like to blog 3 times a week, and I think I can handle that and do that. So until next time, guys, thanks for listening to me. Check out the description box, and if you've got TikTok, go check that out. That is one of the biggest ways that you can see Hope on a daily. I love y'all. Hope loves y'all. Bye, warriors.